Hello and welcome back to another Other video, and happy St. Patrick's Day. So, usually when I do, holiday-related forecasts, there really isn't much to talk about, because usually on holidays, the weather's very nice. But today we have three different systems. One in the east, we have one in the central and parts of the Rockies, central U.S. and parts of the Rockies, and one in the Pacific Northwest. So, let's take a look here at the National Weather Service page with your watches, warnings, and advisories. So we do have winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories in Colorado, New Mexico, and Wyoming due to some snow that will be taking place throughout the day today. Let's take a look at our simulated radar, starting off here at midnight. There it is. So, at midnight, we're seeing that cutoff low starting to move up the coast, and eventually will be ending up in the northeast. We have a low pressure here in 999 millibars, bringing in some snow into Wyoming, Colorado, and then some rain into eastern Colorado and parts of Nebraska. We also see a period of moderate rainfall starting to move towards Washington in the northwest. So let's take you guys to 5 a.m. So by 5 a.m., we're starting to see some more intermittent rainfall around D.C., Baltimore, Dover, Delaware, but most of this is still sporadic, and it will be becoming more consistent throughout the day. In the central part of the U.S., we're still seeing that intensification of this low, now at 997 millibars, and we're seeing some more consistent heavy snow in areas like Denver that could be seeing maybe even 3 to 6 inches of snow today. And we're still seeing that atmospheric flow of moisture kind of, well, it's not an atmospheric river, just a area of heavier rainfall move onto the coast. So let's take you guys to lunchtime. So by noon, we're starting to see rainfall from southern New England down to North Carolina. We're seeing that low pressure start to kind of weaken a little bit, but more mature in a way. And we're seeing that light to moderate snowfall continuing in parts of eastern Colorado. But the real intensification of that low has not happened yet. And we're seeing that moderate rainfall starting to move on to the coast of Washington with some snow in the Cascades a little bit further inland. So by your evening rush, we will be seeing consistent moderate rainfall from southern New England down to Philadelphia, as well as this low pressure here at 997 millibars, starting to bring up some Gulf moisture in parts of southern Texas, parts of Kansas seeing some heavier rainfall as well from that Gulf moisture, but the snow threat is winding down in parts of Colorado with some light to moderate snowfall only in the very eastern portions of the state, and some light rainfall in Kansas, Nebraska, and Iowa. We also see that area of moisture has moved onto the coast of the Pacific Northwest, bringing rain to Seattle and Portland, and snow into parts of the Cascades. So this is 9 o'clock Eastern Time, and this is right around the time that we're going to be seeing consistent moderate rainfall from Boston down to New York. This low pressure system here in the central part of the U.S. is starting to bring up more Gulf moisture. You can see that more consistent rainfall in parts of Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, and then a little bit of snow starting to make its way into Kansas. And in the Pacific Northwest, that area of moderate to heavy rainfall has basically fallen apart. And then let's take you guys to the end of the day. So this is midnight Friday Eastern Time, and this will be the final update that I'm going to do because the west is pretty much clear. But at midnight Eastern Time, that cutoff low is moving off the coast, only leaving some moderate to, let's call that just moderate rainfall in areas of southern New England. And this new low pressure system here is at 1,000 millibars, which is a little bit weaker than when we last checked on it, but it is bringing in a lot more Gulf moisture, and bringing in some cold air on the back end, bringing snow to Kansas, Oklahoma, parts of Nebraska, as well as potential thunderstorms in parts of Louisiana, Arkansas, maybe even Oklahoma. And then some consistent light to moderate rainfall in parts of Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, and Iowa. So let's shift over to our temperatures. So the temperature roller coaster that we typically have around this time of year is occurring. So lows in the morning, let's say they are right around here. So you can see that in much of the Rockies, we're going to be below freezing, which makes sense for this time of year. The only other areas above freezing are the very northern tier of the country, including areas such as North Dakota and Minnesota. Much of the eastern half of the country will see lows at least above 30, if not in the 40s and 50s. So Boston will be at 40, New York at 41, Philadelphia at 48, DC at 50, Richmond at 55, Raleigh's right around here, 57, Atlanta is right around 50, and Miami is at 75. We also have areas such as Chicago at 46, 47, Detroit's right around 34, 35, St. Louis is at 50, Dallas around 51, we have Denver around 28, Seattle around 39, Portland 40, and LA right over here at around 60. Then as we make it through the day, we see a very clear rise in temperatures, and right there is our highest peak. So let's take it through the country again. Boston at 47, New York at 49, Philadelphia at 54. That is mostly because that cutoff low will be bringing in a little bit of cold air from Canada. Then you go down to DC at 59, Richmond at 58, Atlanta around 65, and you have Miami at 80. We have Detroit at 71, Chicago at 59, St. Louis around 75, Dallas at 75, Minneapolis at 55. We have Denver around 27, Seattle is around 50, Portland around 52, and LA is right around 70 degrees. So a pretty warm day and right around normals for this time of year, maybe even above normal in most of the eastern U.S., as this next low pressure system will be bringing in a lot of warm air, especially tomorrow, where areas of the Northeast could be hitting 70, which is, I believe, close to record high temperatures. So definitely going to be an interesting day in terms of temperatures, especially in the eastern part of the U.S. Finally, here is the total amount of precipitation that we're going to be seeing throughout the day. Boston, you're going to be seeing about 1/10 of an inch of rain. New York, potentially seeing close to an inch. So is Philadelphia. DC, showing around 1/10 of an inch of rain. Richmond, around 1/4 of an inch. Miami, around a little bit of a drizzle. Then we have areas such as Denver, which could be seeing close to an inch of rainfall, maybe even over an inch of rainfall. But in the form of snow, it's going to be that very wet, compact snow. And in areas such as Seattle, pretty light, as that area of moisture is going to be more impactful in areas such as Vancouver, which is going to be seeing an inch of rainfall, than it will be in Seattle and Portland, which will be getting less than 1/4 of an inch of rain each. Finally, let's scroll down here and go to our winter weather. Let's take a look at our total snowfall. So this is a little bit bullish, but areas such as Denver could be in a 3 to 6 inch range generally, but the mountains all around Denver could be seeing over 1 foot of snow, maybe even 2 feet of snow in the areas that will be in that colder area of temperatures. Again, if we go back here to our temperature chart, even at the highest temperatures, we're seeing areas in the very low 20s in those upper elevations, maybe even in the teens. So those areas will be seeing a much more powdery snow and therefore much more snow. But areas like Denver that will be hovering just around freezing between 25 and 30 will be seeing more wet, heavy snow, and that will be limiting your snowfall totals. So I would not be surprised if they're even on the low end of that 3 to 6 inch range. But there is your St. Patrick's Day outlook. I hope you all enjoy your day with whatever festivities you would like you take part in or watch or however you celebrate. But that is all the information that I have for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.